There is a special thrill that sweeps through every collector when they hear about a coin that survived war, Reconstruction, scarcity, and the passage of over 150 years while still carrying its original beauty. Today, we are diving deep into one of those rare survivors. Welcome back to Coin's Numismatic series, where every episode uncovers the most fascinating treasures in American coinage. If you love rare history, low-mintage masterpieces, and coins with stories far bigger than their size, then stay tuned, because the 1865 to 1869 $1 coin is one of the most mysterious and scarce circulating issues of the entire 19th century. These seeded Liberty gold dollars represent a chapter of American history shaped by war, rebuilding, and shifting economics, and collectors today chase them for their rarity, survival numbers, and historical symbolism. So buckle in, because this is far more than just a coin. This is a relic of a nation finding its way forward after the Civil War. The 1865 to 1869 $1 coins are part of the celebrated gold dollar series, a denomination first minted in 1849 as a response to the California gold rush. By the time these late Civil War and Reconstruction era coins were minted, the gold dollar already had a reputation for being tiny, delicate, easily lost, often hoarded, and rarely seen in everyday circulation. At just 15 millimeters in diameter, it was the smallest coin ever produced by the United States Mint, smaller than a modern dime and weighing less than 2 grams. Its small size made it extremely practical for bank reserves and emergency payments during wartime, but incredibly impractical for daily use, which is why surviving examples from the 1860s tend to show limited wear. Yet even with light wear, finding one in genuine fine condition is becoming more and more impressive. The historical backdrop of these coins is intense. The $1,865 marks the final year of the Civil War, minted as the nation was torn apart between North and South. Gold coins during wartime rarely circulated because people hoarded precious metals, fearing inflation and financial instability. Most gold dollars during the war years were either melted, lost, or stored away in bank vaults. When the war ended in April 1865, the United States entered the Reconstruction era, a period of rebuilding the government, economy, and national identity. Coins minted between 1866 and 1869 reflect this transition. They were produced in low numbers, often struck primarily for banks or collectors rather than for general circulation. Paper currency backed by precious metal became more common, and the need for tiny gold coins began to drop rapidly. As a result, gold dollar production declined sharply, making any surviving piece from 1865 through 1869 extremely desirable today. The design of these coins features the beautiful Type 3 Indian princess portrait. Although often mistaken for a Native American, the figure is actually Liberty wearing a feathered headdress, a creative artistic interpretation by chief engraver James B. Longacre. The obverse shows Liberty facing left, her hair flowing gracefully behind the band of the headdress. The portrait is surrounded by the inscription United States of America, arranged in a delicate arc around the rim. Even in fine condition, this portrait remains crisp enough for collectors to admire its bold yet elegant lines. The headdress detail is one of the first areas to wear down on circulated examples, so coins where the feathers still show separation, even slightly, are considered better quality survivors. The reverse design is equally refined, featuring the denomination $1 centered within an agricultural wreath. The wreath, made of cotton, wheat, corn, and tobacco, symbolizes the agricultural backbone of the American economy during that era. The date appears below the denomination. Because these coins are so small, even minor circulation wear tends to affect the wreath details, which flatten quickly with handling. That means a fine-condition piece still showing wreath outlines and clear lettering is significantly above the average survivor. Many coins from this period were improperly stored, bent, scratched, or damaged over decades, so finding a straight, unmelted example is already a victory, but finding one that grades fine or better is notable and valued accordingly. The inscriptions on these coins remain an essential part of their identity. United States of America on the obverse emphasizes national pride during a time when the country desperately needed unity. The reverse inscription $1 and the date represent the coin's place within U.S. monetary history. Because the gold dollar was so small, inscriptions had to be engraved with precision, and even small nicks or damage could interrupt the lettering. Collectors today examine inscriptions carefully to authenticate genuine pieces and distinguish them from counterfeits, which did exist even in the mid-19th century. Fine condition coins still show bold, readable inscriptions even if some minor flattening appears on the highest points. One of the biggest factors that makes the 1865 to 1869 gold dollar coins so collectible is the extremely low mintage during these years. Although exact numbers vary by year, all 5 years fall into what collectors refer to as low survival era production. For example, the 1865 Philadelphia issue saw sharply reduced minting due to wartime economic pressure. The 1866 issue dropped even lower as the mint struggled to balance gold output, and by 1868 and 1869, mintage numbers had fallen to levels where only a fraction of the coins produced remain today. While some years produced slightly higher mintages, the survival rate today is far lower because so many coins were melted for their gold content during later economic periods. In fine condition, any coin from this range represents a scarce piece, and higher grade examples jump dramatically in market value. Speaking of market value, collectors watching today will want to pay special attention. These coins, even in fine condition, consistently command strong prices due to their age, gold content, low surviving numbers, and popularity among type collectors. A typical fine-grade specimen may range from a few $100s to several hundred depending on the exact year, surface quality, and eye appeal. Some years, particularly 1865, 1868, and 1869, are significantly rarer than others, and examples with pleasant color, minimal marks, and full inscriptions can easily push higher into the value range. Coins certified by major grading companies like PCGS or NGC often sell for premiums because authenticity and grade are guaranteed. The demand for these coins has grown consistently as fewer examples appear in the market, making them a solid long-term collectible for serious numismatists. Collectors also love these coins because of the fascinating errors that occasionally appear. Because they are so extremely small, striking mistakes happen more often than on larger coins. Weak strikes are common, particularly around the wreath and hair details, which sometimes appear faint even on coins that didn't circulate heavily. Off-center strikes, rotated dies, and minor planchet flaws are known, though they are significantly rarer than on later 20th century coins. Any dramatic error on a gold dollar from this era increases value substantially. There are also varieties caused by minor differences in die preparation, such as repunched dates, variations in the wreath style, or slightly altered portrait details. Specialists in the gold dollar series study these varieties intensely because they tell the microscopic story of how each die was used and how the mint operated during the Reconstruction years. Beyond scarcity and value, collector interest in the 1865 to 1869 $1 coins remains exceptionally strong because these coins represent a turning point in American history. They are the final chapter of the gold dollar's evolution and some of the last years before the denomination became obsolete. Each surviving coin offers a glimpse into the life of a nation recovering from conflict, reshaping its economy, and stabilizing its currency system. When collectors hold one of these tiny gold pieces today, they feel a connection to the past that few modern coins can offer. Because they are difficult to find in fine condition or better, many collectors spend years searching for the right piece to complete their sets. The charm, scarcity, and symbolic significance of these coins make them highly desirable among both experienced numismatists and newcomers fascinated by historical U.S. gold coinage. Bringing this story full circle, the 1865 to 1869 gold dollar is much more than a small coin. It is a survivor of war, a symbol of economic transformation, a miniature work of art, and a prized collectible. Whether admired for its design, its rarity, or its historical importance, this coin remains one of the most captivating treasures in American numismatics.